big problem with people stealing your signs.
Oh, they weren't just stealing them. I mean, I will admit that I was finding out that I had because I had smaller signs that were, more of the standard yard sign size instead of, the 7,000 huge foot Trump Tower looking things on every corner, paid for with, your money, by the way. And there were homeless people that were using them as the heat started to come up. I had seen a few pictures of homeless people using them as shade. And I had, I did have a few fans that were stealing a few because it was a memento of, who I am as a cosplayer. But my competitors, it seems, had been sending out just droves of people. I had confirmation from other Democrat Party members who were saying that they had seen trucks coming by taking them in droves. And when I would put 6 up, like stacked up, and turn a huge sign, make a giant sign out of smaller signs, and put them up with stakes and whatnot that were being removed. There were a few that I had found that had been urinated on. There was one that had been defecated on. So, yeah, that was kind of what was happening with me, that they were destroying my sign.
Yet
They
your
were
name
actually
still was on the
paying
ballot.
people.
Duh. Fucking idiots.
Exactly. And I was on the news more than they were. I was all over the internet. I had worldwide promotion. So I thought it was just very tacky. But the thing is, at the end of the day, I had more promotion. I had worldwide notoriety. I had been on every single local news station in the state, and I still lost. And why is that? Because I didn't have the right letter next to my name on the ballot. Now, I'm thinking, I really do have to believe, I have to wonder, I don't want to say I want to believe, but I really have to wonder if there was no party letters next to those names, if I would have won.
In 10 years, if we took the party names off the ballot now, in 10 years, probably. Mm-hmm. But right away, no. Because there's too many people that are so ingrained in politics that they know all the players. So you probably would not have won still, but say 3 election cycles down the road, you would have had a much better shot if they take the party labels off. And that's one of the things that we go back. I'm thinking
I would have had a much better shot just because I had so much publicity on the news and, locally, and people did know who I was.
Right.
I got way more
possible.
votes than if I had not been who I was. So, I mean, I don't know, especially with there being no incumbent and having everyone be first-timers that were running for that position.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the interesting things that happened during the campaign. For example, one of the things that we know from the 6 years we spent doing this, 6 years of our lives.
It's still painful.
Yeah. Okay. One of the things that we noticed is that you can't really, based on party and stuff like that, you're not supposed to support candidates from other parties. Okay. Now,
yes, did you notice I had 0?
We kind of broke away from that with the whole gun education video, which was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of loud noises and stuff like that. But when we did that video, the whole idea was mostly just to actually it was after the clean election debate that you had to. Didn't you have to almost beg to get into it, or did they invite you? I can't remember.
I was invited to that one. Mm-hmm. The clean elections, yes, I was invited to that one.
And it was pretty much filled with a whole bunch of Democrats asking questions of their Democratic candidates designed to strengthen their opinion on blah, blah, blah. And I remember there was some conflict because one of the things that you said in the actual clean elections things was that you would like to see more training for people that handle firearms.
But before
And
that, remember I
turned
said,
into-
I'm not taking your guns.
Right.
I flat out said those words, I'm not taking your guns.
Right, but then it turned out, because I remember seeing it back on the internet about how all of a sudden you were against people having guns unless they had training. So it was like a miscommunication. You remember all that?
Yeah, I remember that very well.
As a candidate, okay, say you were going to run in 2018, how would you prevent some sort of miscommunication like that? Or it wasn't a miscommunication, it was somebody completely took the whole thing the opposite way.
It took it out of context.
Yeah, it was way out of context.
Well, let's be real here. At that time, the Republicans were building up with Donald Trump, and around that time, the Arizona Republic actually endorsed Hillary Clinton. And me not being a Democrat, they had to push the Democrats. So what did they do? They blindsided me because there was a lot of Dem exiters that were starting to go into the Green Party because it more related to what Bernie Sanders was trying to promote. I believe that it was the Arizona Republic that purposely blindsided me in order to give the Democrats a leg up, knowing that this is a Democrat district and knowing that I do have enough popularity outside of politics that it could have been harmful to the Democrats running in this district.
Well, I mean, that very well could be. I mean, it seems like your district is a very blue district, and it has been. And I guess that's a kind of a good accomplishment, but it's also kind of like, well, you know what? I don't believe that legislative office should be held by entitlement. You need to work for that shit. So the fact that you didn't get more of a
Democrat.
Yeah. But the fact that you didn't get any more, it could be because of the fact of maybe because of what you do. For whatever reason, people don't take you seriously as a person. They just see you as, and I hate to say this because you're like my best friend, but maybe they just see you as an object, or they see you as a cosplayer, and they just don't think that you have any fucking brains, even though you spend more time at the Capitol than most of these fucking people.
I really think that they were trying to do that. I feel like the news and everything, and they were trying to do that, but it was really backfiring on them, because so many people do know me, because people come up to me at conventions and they talk to me about what happened in their family court case. They tell me about their families and their children. So I did have that advantage. I don't think that it hurt me as much as it helped me, because normally someone in the Green Party would just get completely disregarded. And because of who I am, I wasn't disregarded. So I don't know. I had spent a long time talking with the girl at the debate that was doing that, that was writing that article. I had spent a lot of time speaking with her before the debate started, and I just think it was a matter of get the Democrats in. And unfortunately, these are not the Democrats to get in. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If it hadn't been, like, there are better Democrats. I mean, they were not endorsed by many people in their own party. But I had a lot of support from Democrats, but they couldn't endorse me because they felt that they would be penalized by their party.
Well,
and
actually,
that's actually something that you guys should talk about.
Yeah, it's actually built into the party's bylaws. So if you're, for example, a PC, which is precinct committee person, for those of you that don't know, if you support somebody that's not from your party, then they can remove you as a PC. They can take away your elected or appointed position.
It's bullshit.
And that's gang member mentality.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, if they're going to do that, then they should have to approve anyone that is running for office. under their, under their header.
Oh, so that would have meant that they supported us.
Well, let's not.
They would have had to support you.
Call a spade a spade.
Yeah, well,
you know?
we know that that's a whole other show to think about. So, Kara Wife,
but back to running for office.
Yeah. Okay, so from Kara Wife here, what were some of the highlights of you running for office for the past 6 years? What was some of the cool things that you thought was great?
Actually, talking to people where I didn't feel like I was preaching to the choir, where I could be like, instead of, this is what I want to do, what's going to help you? What do you want to see change? Knocking on people's doors is not an easy thing, especially when you don't know how they're going to receive you. But when all of a sudden you're standing out in their driveway and they're talking about how their kid's having problems in school or whatever, they're telling you what's real. You know what? I'm probably not going to get elected, but if I do, this is the shit I can work on. And if I don't, this is the shit that I can actually try to talk to people to actually push on in the legislature. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's actually more or less dealing with people and finding out what everybody wants versus what we think everybody needs.
Okay, so what about the cons? What was the crap?
You know what? I really hate to say this, but the biggest crap was the fucking party politics. Mm-hmm. It was such a turnoff. Oh, you're not a viable candidate. Well, you got somebody better, fucking run him. Oh, well, we don't have anybody else. Well, then either support me or at least don't be dicks. And that wasn't the case.
Well, and that's what I couldn't understand with you. You guys are great candidates. You put your asses on the line. You don't have small children at home that, you can't make things for because, you have to go do parents' things. You were willing to put your ass out there for it. You live out in the area. You put your time, your energy, you were willing to do it, and you're progressive. You believe in things like rights and freedoms, and you care about people, and you don't believe in just giving everyone money because they want it.
But I think
you're a good candidate.
Thank you, and I think that's... I'm not a Democrat anymore, so I can fucking say this. I think the biggest problem the Democratic Party had with Scott and I is the fact that we're progressives, because they're mostly, at least they seem like they are more interested in centrist, corporate, kind of like Hillary kind of people.
Really?
And I really hate to say that, but I think that that's kind of what they want. They think that the more center they are, the better they are. And I don't think that that's the case, because what's center these days is not even close to what was center 20 years ago. So, I mean...
Well, let's take a minute, and we can go back to this, like if you guys want to talk about this like on another show or another time, but is the Democratic Party, do they need their corporate funds to keep the party itself alive? Is the party the people, or is the party a financial entity? Because at the end of the day, everything's a financial fucking entity trying to keep itself alive.
Send us $3. Yeah, it gets really annoying.
Yeah, this is a whole different topic for a whole different show.
And I'm totally not bashing the Democrats or the Democratic Party, but you know what? It's just not a fucking mystery as to why we don't win more elections, okay? No. I'm going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
well, so that was very interesting. And Scott brought that up. Scott and I were talking about that a few times, about Mitzi Epstein winning in 24.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great.
18.
She won.
18,
they flipped that district. 18, that's right. But there was only one Democrat running for two positions, and Linda Macias was a Green Party candidate, and she did not win. Why? Because Democrats, and the Republicans do this too, because that's what happened in my case, they did not look big picture and say, if we don't vote for Linda, we will have a Republican because there is another position. Why not get the Republicans in that district all the way out by putting in a Green Party candidate who will caucus with the Democrats?
It's all about the idea of doing a single shot. And
But I'm talking about the individual voters.
Right. Right.
They
Well,
should have told themselves, hey, we better vote for this